Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I just want to go ahead and say thank you for tuning in. As always, it is a pleasure to go ahead and have you guys, actually should say it's an honor to go ahead and have you guys checking out my channel, and checking out my videos. Hopefully I can go ahead and start getting some more going and get the ball rolling on getting more of these up between random shots of me doing video games and random projects that I'm doing with the 3D printers. So today is a 3D printer, if you couldn't tell from the intro. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be installing a Noctua fan on my Dobot MOOZ2. And one of the biggest reasons why I plan on installing a Noctua fan into it is because it's noisy. Like, really noisy. How noisy is noisy? Well, I'm pretty sure in the background you can hear my Mark IIs. Well, actually it's a Mark 2.5 now. Working on a Christmas project for my aunt. And believe it or not, I have it inside of a cardboard box and with a 20-pound blanket on top. I'm not kidding you. It literally has a 20-pound blanket on top of it. And you can still hear it, but nowhere near as bad as if I were to turn on this Mooz unit, because it is noisy AF. Unfortunately, I think it's the only thing I can do to quiet the machine down is to put on a Noctua fan, because I do not believe there is a way to make these stepper motors quiet, which we are not going to go through the stepper motors right now. But you want to know how loud this machine is? Well, let's just go ahead and I'll show you. Let me turn the mic and camera and adjust the camera. Let me grab my microphone because I don't know, because I really can't afford good stuff here. And we're going to go ahead and turn this machine on. Wait for it. And there it is. So hopefully you can hear the fan and how loud that fan is over the sound of my Mark IIs printing in the background. Get the mic a little bit closer. So yeah, that's kind of what we're working with here. So as you can see, and well, not see, but hear, it is super noisy inside this whole metal hot end. Let's turn that off. So what my project is today is that we are going to be, or you are going to be riding along with me while I go ahead and attempt to take this all apart and put in the new fan. So hope you guys are ready, and let's get to it. Alright guys, so the way this machine is set up is overall it's not too bad of a setup. It's pretty modular. You can get a CNC add-on for it. You can have a laser add-on for it, which I love using, but I need help with laser web. So if anybody of you guys have like a Mooz with laser web profiles that you use successfully, go ahead and hit me up in the comments, because I messed something up, and yeah, that's another project for whatever. So anyways, there are 4 bolts behind here that hold this on. I usually only leave 2 because I don't feel like reaching underneath the machine through the back to try to get the bottom 2 out. So there are 2 bolts back here that we will go ahead, and it helps if I actually have the right size tip, that we will go ahead and take out. So let's put that there. And put put that screw down there. So yay, we've got it out. Alright, let's go ahead and bring you down to desk level. Alright. Hey, you can see my PJs. Perfect. Alright, so that's the Noctua fan. What is this one? Do I need? No, I don't need that. Alright, accessories for the Noctua fan. Pretty much here's the unit. Nice, sturdy, everything all in one. What I actually do really like about this, though, is that the nozzle cooling, or part cooling fan, is a true 360-degree nozzle. Injection molded, hooked up to a pretty decently powerful fan. I kind of wish I could get a fan that was slightly more powerful, but its cooling isn't really too bad. I like it. But we're going to start off with the top here by taking these screws out of the top and these screws out of the bottom. They are 2.5 millimeter. Same with the screws that came out of the back. For this job, you would need for tools a 2.5 millimeter Allen, a 2 millimeter Allen, and a Phillips head. How do I know all that offhand? I've already taken things apart I probably shouldn't have on this machine and put them back together. So we'll go ahead and take these out. And just for ease of the video and for me not having to use power tools, which may hurt your ears on the mic, I already loosened up almost all the bolts. Screws, whatever you want to call them. And here's one thing that's nice though. Everything is magnetic. They're using all magnetic hardware, which I absolutely love. Makes assembly and disassembly so much easier. Alright, so that is apart. Top pops, bottom pops out. Now you're going to want to wiggle your way around till you expose the screws that hold on the PCB board, as you can see here. There are 4. Like I said, I've already been through here a few times, so I've only got 2. Top comes off, we'll just set that aside. Now to get the bottom off, you have to unscrew the part cooling fan. I mean, not unscrew, you have to unplug it. It's this set of wires and this plug right here. Go ahead and wiggle the plug out if by chance you can't really wiggle it out too much by hands, or you're afraid you're going to pull the wires. Just get something to sit in here and twist. And everything comes out. And there's the part cooling fan. As you can see, here's the part cooling fan. Pretty nice. Full 360-degree nozzle. And it works. It actually moves a pretty decent amount of air. Luckily, it's not super loud, or else I'd be trying to find a new, quieter version of this. We'll set that aside. Now you can see in here, we have the control board for the extruder, the hot end, the fans, thermistor, and everything else. And as you can see, since the extruder is right there, this is actually a complete direct drive. There is no heat sink. The heat sink, it just goes nozzle, heat block, heat break, extruder. So the extruder itself actually kind of acts like the heat sink. So what is next is we're going to take this whole assembly out of the frame. To do that, we got to take you got 4 screws. Let's go ahead and swap tips again. You got 4 screws in the corners. Those are 2mm. Take those 4 out. Alright, those 4 are out. Now this will slide out once you go ahead and push in the button on the extruder. Push the button in. Slide it on out. Put the frame aside. There is your guts in glory of your extruder for the MOOZ2. I believe it's also the same in the MOOZ1. You got your stepper motor, 1.5 amp, 1.8 degree. This will be the fan that is the noisy. This is the culprit. Let's see, just to show you. Notice, kids, don't ever do this at home. I am not a trained professional. Now that does move a lot of air, which I know it needs to in this case because of being such a direct drive unit. It's got to cool the whole chassis down. But it's just so bloody noisy that I can't stand being next to the machine when it does that. So, now this is obviously a very short distance for the wires. Turn this off. And the Noctua fan has really long wires on it, so I don't know how exactly we're going to make this work. We'll go ahead and switch back to the 2.5mm screws, tip, and we're going to take the fan out. Take those 2 screws, those 2 screws, that screw out, I can count. We're going to take this screw out. Now watch yourself when you do this. You got 4 nylon washers in here, as you can see right here. Why didn't they just give you 2 nylon washers that were double the length of these single ones? I don't know, but they gave you 4. Do not lose those. You need those for proper spacing. And now we're going to go ahead and unplug the fan, which is right here. Notice, here's one thing that you got to pay attention to. It's something I ran into. I have to say this disclaimer now. Aside from the fact that you are probably voiding your warranty doing what I'm doing, even though it's just a simple fan replacement, you probably most likely will be voiding the warranty on a Noctua fan when you receive it. because you have to. Notice how on this fan, positive is on, we'll say, the right, negative is on the left. Unfortunately, with this Noctua fan is a 3-wire Noctua fan. Luckily, the kits come with a 3 to 2 wire adapter. But the issue here is when it came down to it, let's see if I can show you here. When it came down to it, can't quite focus in. See, right now on the Noctua fan, even though it's blurry, you can still see red is on my right and black is on the left. That is not how it comes factory wired. It comes factory wired with red in the middle, the opposite. We'll take a look at the opposite ends. It comes factory wired, red in the middle, black on the outside. On this side, it was red in the left, black on the right. Like I said, for the fan, we need red on the right and black on the left. So therein lays a problem where you actually have to find a tool small enough. In this toolkit that I have, I don't even remember where I put the toolkit. Here it is. This is the toolkit that I have. I love it. Use it all the time with my 3D printers. Got it on Amazon and it was very cheap. Granted, 90% of the tips you don't need, but hey, you know what? It works perfectly. This comes with a SIM card pin. That is what I actually had to use in order to get these terminals out and swap the terminals over to match this fan. And like I said, you could be voiding 2 warranties when you do this project, because I'm pretty sure Noctua does not want you swapping their pins around in their units. But in order to get the fan to work, that's what I had to do. And we'll see how well it actually moves the air and how quiet it is. The only problem is I got to figure out what the hell to do with this wiring. There's so much of this wire. But I'll try that out. Let's see. Unplug you. We'll plug you back in. Just so you guys can get an idea on the difference in the noise. If you remember how the black one heard, how you heard of the black one. Heard of, yeah, okay. There it is. It's spinning, it's moving. I'll put it near the mic. So yeah, this is one hell of a game changer for when it comes to how noisy this machine is going to be. Because I like living on the edge. You want to compare it to the other one again? There's the stock fan. And there's the Noctua fan. So you can barely hear it. And from the feeling of it, it is pushing pretty much almost the same amount of air that this fan was. This is a 12 volt 1 amp. This is a 12 volt point. Yeah, this is 12 volt. Hold on. 12 volt 1, 12 volt 0.6. So yeah. Nope, this fan should do the trick. No, I read the amps wrong. That was wattage. No, this is a 0.1. Let me say that correctly. This is a 0.1 amp. This is a 0.05 amp. That is what I was trying to say. So 0.05 amp moves as much power. I mean, is moving just as much airflow as a fan that is twice the amperage and half the noise. Alright, so let's see what we can do about trying to figure out exactly how I'm gonna, because I don't want to cut and splice wires. So I think this is probably, I'm gonna need zip ties. Zip ties, zip ties. There we go. Alright, so first things first, let's get the screws into place and get those nylon washers. How am I going to want to put this? I want to put you on the top, or do I want to put you through the back? I don't know. Probably going to want to put you through the back, then up through the top. And the plug can sit over there. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that should work. We'll give that a shot. Alright, so pretty much here's how I'm gonna say it's gonna fit the best. Gotta zip tie these wires right over here. We're gonna put the fan like this. So we're gonna have the fan like that. I'm gonna zip tie these wires in the back where the other ones go. We're going to have this plug overhanging this side, since there is a gap here between the part cooling fan and the motor. Not that much of a gap, but there is one, so they should be able to wiggle around and not interfere with each other. So we'll go ahead and leave it like that. Now, go ahead and get these screws to come through. Put on nylon washers. See, that'll be the fun part, is not dropping the bloody things like I keep doing. Get over here. Okay, no, you get up there. You get on there. You get on there. Alright, let's see if drive you. Oh, man, I need a third hand. Alright, I'm sorry, you guys can't see me doing this. Oh, that's in. That's in. All right, awesome. Haha, that worked. Even though I could use the third set of hands. All right, so I'll go ahead and tighten you down. Tighten you down. That should take care of it. We've got it plugged in. We know we've tested it. It's all set to go. Remember what I told you about that whole changing the pins over, because positive is on the right, negative is on the left, so you got to change the pins inside the socket for the Noctua fan, and it'll work beautifully. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get this thing back into its home. Though I'm pretty sure at some point you could, if someone got crafty enough, take a metal blade and maybe, if they want to get fancy schmancy, cut this out here and they can mount the fan directly to here. That way, who knows, I don't know, maybe it could push more air. I don't know how much air it can actually pull through here, but as you can see, there's a decent amount of airflow and air circulation coming through this case. So now we're going to go ahead and wiggle this back into its spots. Don't forget to push down on the button. Pay attention to the wires as you send this puppy home. That way, you know you're not pinching anything. Wires are still pretty loose. All right, beautiful. Awesome. All right, swip your tips back to the 2mm. We're going to put those 4 set screws back in. And no, they don't have to be super tight. Hand tight is perfectly fine. Come on. Get. All right. I'll go ahead and grab the part cooling fan. Don't forget to wiggle these around a little bit because they don't fit flush with the outside edge. They fit right on the inside edge. I say that because last time I took one apart just to check out what my laser module was like, I was wondering why I couldn't get the screws to go in. And that was because I had it sitting up on the edge of the casing instead of sitting on the inside edge of the casing. So I'll get these screws to go in. Plug in the fan. Where did I knock that top case down? I did. I did knock it down. Alright. Now, swap your tip back with the P... What is this, a P1? Yeah, P1 Phillips. I recommend putting at least 2 back in here. If I can find my third one, I'll put the third one in there. I think is that the third one? 'Cause I've definitely lost one. Yes. Alright, I'll put a third one in here. The bummer is that they're not magnetic, so they're easy to drop. Alright. Alright, that's in, that's together. Now make sure your wires are clear when you push everything down. The last thing you want to do is have everything set up for you to sever a wire because of you put a screw through it, because the wire is sitting on top of the screw hole. Alright, those are all set. More companies should use magnetic screws. Alright. Everything is looking good. Now let's go ahead and set this back up and bring it back home. Come here. Just make sure you put these, because there's different sets of holes, since the Mooz actually uses the same frame for CNC lasering and 3D printing. You're going to want to set these to the, if you're looking at it, the furthest right set of holes, so that the nozzle zeroes out in the middle of the build plate. And just to give you a, make sure you're nice and snug. Wrong direction. There we go. That is not moving. Let's plug it in. And as a reference, let's see if I can show you here. What did I do last time? History. Average was, this is measured in dB. So the average was, last time I was running the stock fan, I just had my phone sitting up here. We were running an average of about 62 decibels. At the moment, just because my printer over there is really loud, we'll go ahead and show you what we've got on the dB meter at the moment. Once I go ahead and, if the camera can zoom in on it, I know, high gloss. A high gloss screen. Can't quite tell. Can't quite see the numbers. But you can see what it's down in the bottom. You can see at least right now we're averaging 53. Right now the number is actually reading, if I shut up, 48. Last time it was, what did I say, it was 62. So I'll turn the printer on and we will see what happens. It is recording at 50 decibels right now, where beforehand, when I had the stock fan sitting there, phone sitting in the same position, it was registering at 62 average. So right now we're at between my booming voice going into the phone and the printer next to, in the Mark 2.5 working away, we're averaging 53 decibels. So that's 10 dB quieter than the stock fan. That I think is amazing. Okay. I got that. Adjust you. Sit back and relax a little bit. So yeah, that's it. So much more quieter, man. I absolutely love it. Now I wish I could go ahead and get the stepper motors to actually be quiet, but I have to do a little bit more research on that to figure out how exactly I can do that. Turn off my dB meter. So yeah, I want to go ahead and I want to thank you guys for tuning in. You know, it means a lot. Go ahead and leave a like on the video, leave a comment down below, hit the subscribe button, do all the things that you know you want to do. And I want to thank you guys for checking out my video. And I just want to go ahead and thank you guys for, yeah, you know what? Checking out the video, checking out the channel, watching. Go ahead and, like I just said, hit the subscribe button. Check out everything. You know what? Check out everything and everybody. Always give somebody a chance. And whenever it comes down to it in life, go ahead and pay nice things forward. If somebody does something nice for you, do something nice for somebody else. Trust me, you will feel a lot better about yourself when you do. Aside from that, guys, hope you have a good night. It is time for me to, almost time for me to go to bed. Almost midnight. I need to clean my glasses. It's almost 11 o'clock. Slowly approaching midnight. So yeah, that's going to be it for me. All right, thanks a lot for everything. All right, guys, I mean it. I appreciate you. You're the hero. And I'll talk to you later.